Okay, this is a legendary video. Here is a basic thumb pulling routine that you can leverage to get faster, more effective results. And combine all three thumb pulling techniques: thumb pulling, thumb pushing, and lateral thumb pulling. In one routine that you do every morning or every night to get 10x the results that you're currently getting and see big improvements in weeks. It will develop your maxilla, it will bring your jaw upwards and forwards, it will improve your posture, it will open up your airways, it will improve your breathing. You are going to be the best version of yourself, not only in terms of looks, but also in terms of health. I had a pretty drastic transformation from the ages of 17 to 19, making my palate grow 8 whole millimeters. People, you can just join the community in the description. Has everything in one place, full techniques, some things that I'm just never going to be able to put out on YouTube, and at the same time you'll get full personalized one-on-one access to me. First things off the bat, I need you to realize this. I'm going to give you a bit of a science lesson first, okay? There are 3 layers to this, right? There's your skin. Below your skin is a layer of connective tissue called the fascia. Below the fascia are the bones. You need to basically get rid of all of the tension, loosen the fascia and the skin as much as possible to make the bones as malleable as possible. There are also loads of these things called sutures in your skull, which are basically joints, fibrous bits of tissue that connect the bones together. And there are loads of them throughout your skull. And the more that you loosen these, the more effective everything becomes. Basically, there's things like the intermaxillary suture, the mid-palatal suture, the zygomatic maxillary suture. A lot of these complicated names, but thumb pulling and pushing up on your palate is what's going to loosen everything. In particular, the one on your actual palate, there's a suture called the intermaxillary or mid-palatal suture. Therefore, no worries. You can do this at pretty much any age. The sutures in your skull never actually fully harden until a very later age. And so even if you're 28, you can still get results. I've seen people at 35 seeing even 42. This video, but you should be standing up against a wall. You should be tucking your chin to your neck like this, and your chin to your neck, giving yourself as many double chins as possible. That mimics perfect posture.
It's drooping. No, we see the pelvis and the rib cage drooping. So why would the solution be localized to the mouth? We need to address the mouth, but we really need to address the whole body. The Mews understand this, but they advise you to just go with the standard ideas around posture. So rather than the postural work helping, you are trained to pull your head back and bend your back even more. Most people habitually pull their head back and down, and that needs to be countered. This is why chin tucks, where you practice pulling your head back, really don't make sense. But what I think the Mews are missing is that the position of the jaw, or any part of the body, is the result of the movements that you make with that part of the body. If you constantly pull your jaw back, you will have a recessed jaw. Not because your jaw will be underdeveloped, but because the jaw is being pulled back over and over. If you move the jaw, it will be in a new spot. I'm sure this is hard for some to believe, but your posture, including your mouth posture, is the result of the movements that you make. Form follows function. If you think this is how your jaw should be when you close your mouth, that is where your jaw will be every time you close your mouth. Now, many people think they're stuck here, that this is how their body is. There's an element of truth there, in that if you constantly pull your jaw back, the structures of your body will morph and scar to accommodate this habitual position. But the real problem is that your feeling sense will get used to it. Then it will become strange or even painful to move your jaw to a different position. And so you're stuck in a cycle. Because you won't want to do what is uncomfortable, you will keep your jaw pulled back.
Like this. A quick tip that a lot of people don't know is I would try and keep your mouth as wide open as possible, because this will further loosen everything. Even though you don't rest in between, but 30-second hold, reposition yourself, then another 30-second hold on the middle part of your palate. We'll call this lateral thumb pulling.
To achieve that level of remodeling and what it takes to get there. The other thing is, and this gets to the flaw in mewing, is that mewing will only really work, in my view, if you're wearing a mouth guard like the Revive. And I'll explain why, but basically mewing will improve your curve of speed that I talk about. I've spoken about, I used to do these experiments with a tracking splint, and I would see that if I did yoga or I did my fast approach, and then I would make adjustments on this tracking splint, it would create more of a curve. So I'd be drilling on the front, right? If the splint started out flat, on the front, so there's more and more of a curve, right? And so if you did mewing and you're using this tracking splint, you would see that the exact same thing is happening, is that you're creating more of a curve. But the key is that if you just leave it like that and you sleep without wearing any appliance, this curve will then flatten and your contacts will be the same as they were in a day or two as before you did the mewing. Why is this the case? And this gets back to what I was saying before, is mewing increases the curve of speed. So like it lifts your back up off the lower jaw, and there's a little bit of an open posterior bite. And if you sleep with that, that flattens again, right? And then you're going to mew the next day and it's going to pick it up again. And then it's going to flatten. So like you're in a hamster wheel if you're not wearing any appliance. And this is why if you don't regress at night because you're wearing the rubber appliance that prevents the curve from flattening, it just makes sense that, you know, every picking up that you do, the next day when you pick it up again, you're going to pick it up further, right? And so your results are going to compound faster.
At the same time, if you have a very narrow palate and can't fit both of your thumbs in at the same time, what you should really focus on is tongue chewing, kind of trying to massage your palate as much as possible.